All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday team call. I'm super excited about this team call today because we have an amazing guest that I'll introduce more properly after I go through a couple of announcements. But there's a couple things that I want you to really pay attention to right now. It's July 29th, which means we only have 2 more days after today for you to get registered and onto a team cup. The deadline for that is July 31st. If you're a part of our team, obviously we want you to reach out to me or anyone on this team or inside of our team page and ask if you could be placed on a team cup. We're working on filling some of those teams up right now. If that doesn't happen and it comes to the deadline when you're just watching this on July 31st, you can just go to the Coach FAQ, look at the info on the team cup, and there's a website. You could click it and you could put your name in to be randomly placed on a team. So what I'm saying is whatever it takes, get on a team. First, reach out to us because we'd love for you to be teamed up with other members of your team. But we want you to be a part of that team cup. Basically, what that is you just, I was talking with Dwana about this 2 days ago. I've had coaches that I've reached out to and asked about being on a team, and they don't want to let their team down as we go for points and for prizes. And the thing that I let them know is, yes, I want you to win the prize. I want the team to win, the tiered prizes. However, that's not the most important thing to me. The most important thing is that you build a relationship and really lean into the community and make sure that you feel like you're a part of that community inside of this little team of 5, and that you are just doing the actions that will grow your business and grow you as a person. And if we get the points, awesome. If not, we don't. But the most important thing is that you do grow and that you do get more consistent in those activities that will grow your business. So that's my encouragement for you to get on a team cup. I remember jumping on a team cup, not knowing what it was back in July of 2011. And it was an incredible experience. I was able to team up with my coach, Lindsay Matway, and 3 other incredible coaches. And all 5 of us that were on that team cup have kept that relationship in that community over the last 9 years. And we all do Team Beachbody coaching full time. Now, at the time, we were all brand new, not knowing what we were doing. So jump on. It'll do nothing but good for you if you lean in. The next thing I want you guys to know is that as a Dynasty Strong team, we're going to be leading what we're going to call a coach workshop starting on the week of August 24th. So mark your calendar for that. August 24th, we're leading what's called a coach workshop. And what that is we're going to have some of our top leaders on the Dynasty Strong team just sharing exactly what it is that we do as coaches, like what a day in the life of a coach looks like, what we do, what our mission is. And we're going to just be sharing that stuff. And that's an opportunity for you to invite your current customers or your coach prospects, friends, family, anybody to come learn and see what it is that you do. So let us do the work in explaining it and answering their questions. Your job will just be to build a relationship with them, invite them, follow up, and get them to come to that coach workshop. And we'll have more info inside of the Dynasty Strong team page on that, like a link to the group. We'll do some little live videos teaching you maybe how to invite, how to follow up, and what to expect with that group. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce Dwana now as our guest speaker today. Dwana's been a coach with me for a few years. I remember, Dwana, we didn't talk about this 2 days ago on our phone call. I remember when I first really met you, when you walked through the lobby with your coach, Rena, I believe it was. You guys walked through the lobby of the hotel when we're all gathered at night at Summit in the hotel, which is one thing that we always do. And I just remember meeting you there, and you made an impression on me that I meet thousands of people, talk to thousands of people, especially at Coach Summit in the week that I'm there. And I specifically remember you guys coming over. You came from my left side and came over and chatted with us. So Dwana is that person where she just leaves an impact on you. You can remember her and you remember how you feel when you're with her. And I think that's an important trait in coaching. So she's going to give some tips and maybe some things that she's doing. But one thing that I want you to recognize is that the person that you are and become, that's the person that attracts the people to come into the tribe with you. So with that being said, Dwana, I'm going to pass the time over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have to start this share with I am a donut and Dorito lover until the day that I die. I love beer, I love wine, and the light that I am able to bring to people, I feel so strongly happened because I grew up and I was 217 pounds as a teenager. I'm half Samoan, and I was raised by the Samoan side of my family. And in that culture, I remember going to holidays and events with my family, and you literally are smacked in the head if you don't go back for fourths. Like, it is such an integral part of who we are as a people. And now I'm at the point where my aunties call my mom and say, why is Dwana anorexic? I'm like, no, I'm healthy. We're not supposed to be 400 pounds. So that's a whole nother. But that journey with me growing up and struggling with my weight in high school, my mom worked to help me lose the weight. I have a little brother who was, I was 17 when he was born. And right after she had him, she went to Weight Watchers, and she decided to take her oldest daughter with her to help her lose the weight. And I remember being in that room, like I was the only teenager in this room with middle-aged women. I was like, this sucks. Like, I should be out getting in trouble. I should be out being a kid. And here I am focusing on my weight. And it was a good thing. It was the only thing that my mom knew how to do to help me, right, to get to a better place and get to a healthier state. But I think about that, and just, I'm 45 years old and I still struggle with that kid. And so I think that's an important share for everyone on this team is, you know, there's things that we go through in life that we will continue to struggle and have to work to overcome. And Beachbody's been a huge blessing because while I'm working on my own personal goals, I get outside of my bubble by helping others and by talking through what they're going through and their struggles. So how I was introduced to Beachbody, but the next caveat is I hate exercise. Like I hated exercise so much. It's different now, but it really started with, you know, my corporate journey and going to fast food and going to these vendor events and dinners and stuff. And that's where I met my husband. And my husband, when I met him, was a marathon runner and was very into fitness. And the neat thing about our journey is I was just always like, don't you want to go to this, like, this vendor's going to take us out. We're going to a Laker game. So he's like, I got to go home and go run. I'm like, you're a weirdo. He's on the call, by the way. But what he did do for me is this is in 2002 or 2003, we just started dating, and 24 Hour Fitness at that time had this amazing promotion where you pay $1,000 down and then for 4 years, and then $20 a year for the rest of your life. So he added me on saying, babe, let's go. We'll work out together. It'll be fun. Mind you, I'm still chubby, right? I'm like, he's just trying to get me skinny. He looked like a gazelle on the treadmill, and I felt like an elephant. I felt awful, and I hated every bit of it. This is a huge part of my journey when I help other people who are starting, because I remember how viciously awful it was. I felt like everyone was staring at me, thighs are rubbing together, everything's bouncing, and I was just so uncomfortable. 2 or 3 weeks in doing this routine together, I went over to the group fitness room and I opened the door, and it was Chalene Johnson's Turbo Kick. And I was literally bit. This was 2003. I came out of that. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was punching right. They were going left. But I walked out of that room with a fire in me. And I remember saying to my husband, I want to do this. And I went to the front desk and I asked what this was. I had no idea it was a Chalene Johnson program. I had no idea that she created it. Didn't know anything about Beachbody. I mean, you know, Beachbody existed back then. And that is literally how I started my journey, was at group fitness. And I went back to my corporate job and I was losing weight. This is after my first child. And then after I had my second child, I went through the depression and I had gained quite a bit of weight. And that's when I saw my first Beachbody infomercial, Turbo Jam. And I didn't know that Turbo Jam was the in-home version of Turbo Kick, the class I was taking in the gym. But there was a Samoan modifier on there, and her name was Anna Rita Sloss, who I'm still very good friends with today. And I resonated so much with her story, the culture, the people, the food, but how we could still enjoy those things if we found a space in our life to get active and to stay healthy and make it fun. And so I love that. So I started following her, and then I found out about Chalene Johnson's Turbo Camp in 2008. And that's when I became certified to become a fitness instructor. So that's how my journey with fitness really started. Became a fitness instructor. Someone at that camp told me about the Beachbody opportunity. We literally were just coming off the ground. And because I was getting such great results, you guys, I didn't want anything to do with the business model. I just love the idea of the retail side of our business. Plus, it was less than a cost of a shirt to start my own business. And that was kind of cool to me, Joe. I can't buy a bunch of stuff. I don't want to stock a bunch of stuff. I just want to help people. So did that. Again, with the mindset, I never want to take this to a business level. I just really want to help people. And I organically was having people come to me because I was proof that the product worked. So I did Turbo Jam. I was using the supplements back then. It was we didn't have Shakeology obviously back then, but we had some type of protein shake. We had Activit. And I was using those supplements and products, and I was in a good place. I made great money at my corporate job. And again, I never had the intention of leaving my job to pursue Beachbody. And then in 2012, I had my third child, and because I'd seen some of what Beachbody coaching was all about, I was watching leaders like Christine Dwyer. I was seeing what they were doing. I was like, and I always have to stay busy. My mind never shuts off. So I love the idea of, while I was on maternity leave after my third child, to get healthy from home like I did after my second, and be able to help other people too. While I'm home on maternity leave, I can make some extra money. I love that idea. And things just took off. It was awesome because I was totally open. I put my flabby big old belly on social media every day. Judge, I don't care. I grew up chubby. I've had doors slammed in my face. So it's like, you can't hurt me, which is a huge part of being a successful person, let alone coach, is building that self-belief. And we have to do it ourselves. We can watch all the motivational videos on the planet, you guys, but we have to do the work to build that every single day. Because I had that belief, I knew the products worked. I was just on fire, and I loved it. And I did make great money, and then went back to my corporate job. And so I was still leading groups, but I wasn't actively growing the business. I wasn't, inviting. I was allowing people who saw me at Ingram, and Ingram was a huge company. I think we had 1,100 associates on the campus at that time. So it was great. I was getting residual income. I had people coming to me. It was joyful. It was joyful. And fast forward two more years after that, my husband and I had our fourth child, and he passed away the day after he was born. I was diagnosed with a subchorionic hematoma when I was 19 weeks pregnant. And then at 20 weeks pregnant, they put me on full bed rest. And it was, when the day he was born, it was either he go or we both go. It was that serious, and lost myself for a long time. At that point in my journey, I didn't lose sight. It just, I had to bury my kid. And at that point in my journey was when I started following Scotty and seeing the family and the closeness of family and the importance of having family. And that meant so much to me, because if it wasn't for my husband and my kids, I don't know that I would have made it, because I did lose kind of conviction in how fitness has helped me. And kind of the turning point for me was having someone invite me to go on a run. I'm not a runner. I have bad memories of when my husband was a runner, and it brought me back to the gym, but that was another turning point for me. And I just have a quick caveat. I was crying at this last summit, seeing that Beachbody's evolving, and now we have a running program to offer people to get them out and focusing on their journey, because it's not always about staying indoors. That being outside in God's earth and that creation and being connected with nature is such a huge piece to wellness. And if we're out there promoting overall wellness, I was so proud as a company that we are finally there. And I hope that we do more with cycling, just putting this in Scotty's ears, because I know he can take this up above, cycling and more dance, and keeping the joy in fitness, and really being able to reach even more people who need it. At that point, I really needed it. And that invite to running turned into 12 half marathons and my first full half marathon, and all in honor of my son, in honor of Jansen. And that brought a whole new flurry of people to me, and that running community, and talking about my why and why I was there. And, as a coach now, I feel so proud, because whatever someone's going through, I've kind of just been there. And because I've been so open in my journey, less afraid of judgment, because the drive is, I just want to reach one. Every time I post, my vision is I want one person, whether they comment or whether they like or don't like. If I reach one heart today, I've done my job as a coach. And I know it because I was just telling Scotty, like, a woman who's been following for 4 years, literally never comments. She commented yesterday, and we had a phone call today because she's ready. 4 years, you guys. So the journey with Beachbody has always been very fluid for me, but it also, this is a really important point that I want to make sure everyone got and put this on their heart. It will always be there for us. We are now in 3 countries. I'm sure we're evolving to go in even more countries. We're constantly looking at what our clients need, what humanity needs to be better people and better families, so that we can build better towns and cities and communities and states and nations. The most recent part of my journey with Beachbody After my son passed away, me and my husband had a long talk, and we talked about the financial side of Beachbody and the business. And that's when we really decided, to be all in, you have to sacrifice some things. And I also believe that no matter what you're doing, if you're trying to grow a business, you have to make sure you're taking care of your family first. You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. When I was in Scotty's groups, I really like the simplistic way that he breaks it down. What are you reading every day? And are you teaching it to somebody? Are you sharing it? Are you working out? Are you drinking your Shakeology? We overthink what this business is all about, but you do those 3 things on a regular basis, your business will grow organically. And then the other part is make sure that you're inviting. The trend that I'm doing now, you guys, is when I post something, everyone who likes it, I go and send them a Facebook message or a quick message. Nothing about the company. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. I put a lot of my heart and soul into what I share to reach people's hearts, and I appreciate your support. 8 times out of 10, they will respond, and then we can start a conversation. So it's just that connection and acknowledging that they showed up for you is such a huge piece. Fast forward just a couple more years, you guys, where I'm really at in my journey is it really is about the financial. I need to earn money. And I have always believed in the potential of this business. I'm not driven by money. I'm not a person that you put a number in front of me and I go get the number, but I am competitive. So I like the team community and that spirit. So this is why I was very excited about Team Cup. And I also really enjoy as a woman and watching my mom as a struggling single working mom. Like, I love that fulfillment of being productive and earning. And I've been blessed this whole time. I've had an amazing career teaching classes, 24 Hour Fitness, Orange Theory Fitness, Total Woman Gym. And I was let go for the second time 2 weeks ago because of COVID. And something in me changed where my focus has always been, am I joyful? Am I taking care of my husband and my kids? And am I joyful? Am I joyful? Because I can't give to others if I'm not joyful first. So my joy was taken from me again. And it kind of brought me back to where I was after Jansen, and something else was taken from me. And I don't have control over that. I can't play victim. That's just a waste of my energy. What I do have control over, and what has been proven to work for me time after time again, is the more I'm helping other people, the more I'm talking to them about their goals and their struggles and the solution that I have, the less in my head I am about myself, the more joy I'm creating for myself. The neat thing about this specific time in my life is my kids were obviously very young. I was babies when I started my journey. My oldest is a teenager. My oldest boy is 13 and my oldest daughter is 12. And they get it. It's been neat for them to watch me work out at home, join me from the workouts, but now they're at the space where they can understand the financial impact that this company can have for me and our family. And so as a family, which I'm always going to go back to that, you guys, we're no better than the corporate climber people if we're hustling to go get the dollar and we're leaving our family sloppy seconds. Like, they have to be, talk to them and make sure that you're doing it as a unified team and you're connecting with them on a regular basis and sharing what you're going through, because it is a career, it is a job, while you're making sure you're taking care of yourself first. So when I told Scotty, 2 or 3 years ago, I had pulled back because of my children were going through, when they didn't have a mom. I was on the nightly calls and I was doing everything. And then I was like, yeah, wait. And then my husband's putting the kids to bed again. And then I say, wait. And so what? So what the hell is this money going to do for us if I don't have a mom? It's super basic. So the journey we're at now is I have set hours. We're talking every day about what I'm doing. I have specific goals that I've shared with my family and my team. And the goal now is not necessarily to get rich, but to know that this I have control over, and it's something that COVID can never take away from me. On top of that, I think the percentage was the in-home fitness industry has gone up by like 602% because of COVID. It's our biggest year ever. People need these solutions. And the final thing I want to talk about, you guys, is the community, because so many people had their gym families ripped from them and they are desperate to have that back. Right when COVID started, Ian and I listened to a really cool webinar with 4 guys. Each of them interviewed one of the top fitness industry leaders. One was from a CrossFit. One was from a huge gym chain in Northern California. I can't remember the name. It wasn't Equinox. Another one was from Orange Theory. He owned like 17 different franchises. And the other one was 24 Hour Fitness and Crunch. And they all had different business models and how they were going to overcome. But the one thing that I remember that really stuck out to me is people love their gym families. Like, it is their second home. This is their church. And I know a lot of people have been doing this for 12 years. This is their church. When they go back to their second home, it's going to look very different. It's going to be a step family. the mom won't be there and the two brothers won't be there because they didn't get the same time slot. Everyone's wearing a mask. It will be a completely different experience. And by nature of that, the gym industry is going to suffer unless they really focus on how they can pivot and bring that community back. And Beachbody's always been there. And at least, you know, I'm not a cliquey person at all. I can't stand mean girls. And so something I'm very proud of is I'm part of a team with Scotty and Gabby. I see nothing but love and community and family and supporting one another. And that's what makes me really, really proud to be a part of this team and to invite other people too. You are instantly plugged into a family environment. My community, my personal page with my coaches and my challenge group on BOD every single day is going to be about uplifting. It's an escape from social media. And I say that word, you guys, to some of my challengers, like, I'm in, where do I sign up? Like, I need that escape. I'm on for 5 minutes. I'm just completely depressed. And not only that, what about our kids? Those of you who have teenagers, what is their escape? What such a big blessing that we can do something as a family from home to help them feel more confident, help them learn about how amazing the body is a movement and better nutrition as a family with the Fixate channel and everything that Beachbody offers us to stay well for ourselves first, fill our cups up so that we can give to others. Oh my gosh, I talk so much. Okay, what questions?
I loved everything you said. Does anybody have a question for Dwana?
Oh, that's awesome, Mike. The community, yes, it's amazing. It's, you know, to plug in Team Cup, I think that's another really cool thing is I get to work with Tiffany. I don't know Tiffany. I'm so excited to work with you. Just the comments and the fact that I now am connected with someone who I know for a fact is on this journey just to be better. That's it. There's no hidden agenda. She doesn't want anything from me. Like is what's so rad is the minute you join as a coach, you're plugged into this incredible community to make your life better. And all you have to do is pay it forward. If you're following those simple things, go back to reading every day. Did you share it? Did you talk about it? And even if you feel like you sound like a buffoon, I love how Scotty said this just too, because I did rewatch it and I was LMAOing at Scotty's first video, talking about P90X and how hard you could see the difference. Whereas I'm like, give me the mic, woohoo! I grew up singing and performing and all that stuff. So it's natural for me, but also the self-confidence that I have. I also grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and that's something that I don't talk about openly, but I feel like that's the next phase. God is I'm in this part to help reach those folks that are struggling with being in an Orthodox religion, and for whatever reason, they're no longer part of it, and that guilt and shame. I've had doors slammed on my face ever since I was 13 years old. You know us, we come around Saturday mornings, we're knocking on your doors, yeah. All of this has built the person that is sitting before you, and I'm in a really amazing space. I am so joyful that I can talk about my son almost without crying. I am joyful that I'm still part of 2 infant loss survivor groups on Facebook, and we connect with each other every single day. They've blessed my life. And the last piece I will share with you guys is literally it's your struggles. It's all the BS that you have gone through and you have pushed through that will help you connect with so many people. They will fall in love with the fact that you were brave enough to raise your hand and say, I'm going through some shit. I'm really struggling, but I'm determined not to fall back on the couch and stick my thumb in my mouth and feel sorry and play victim. I'm so grateful for this company. Help me get out of bed and get a 30-minute workout in. I have something delicious and it makes me feel really good. I'm grateful that I have a community that's just going to check in on me if I miss a couple days or if I'm not showing up. And I'm grateful that now I have an opportunity to actually build financial freedom and get out of debt and earn some money for doing what I have found that saved me and how I can connect that to other people.
Yes, I love it. Raise your hand if you can see Dwana on a national wake-up call one day. I know I can. Yeah, so I want to spend, if we got like 5 or 10 minutes, I want to spend some time, like any of us can share any experience we've had, or you can ask Dwana or myself a question.
Anything.
I want to give a shout out right now, Mike, for being here, man. You're doing incredible. You're showing up, you're working hard, and probably one of the most consistent people I see when I'm the team call host is Mike, who's one of the first people on every week. And so I love that you're leaning in. Tiffany, I'm thinking about Tiffany. We met, she rented a house at where one of our vacation rental properties we got connected that way. She'd watched Coaches forever, and then just saw a connection between our 2 families. And so she reached out, she's a coach. I remember the first few weeks, even further than a few weeks, like 5 weeks, struggling with, I'm not seeing a difference on the scale yet. And we just talked about trusting the process. And she posted her results, and I'm going to share them as well later today. But like, you can see an incredible difference. Like, I can see an incredible difference. So shout out to Tiffany for staying strong in that. And then Penny, I don't know Penny all that well, but one thing I love about Penny is she's on Kiera Elise Ward's team. And, you know, that team just went 2-star diamond. And, you know, Penny reached out to me, and she was gathering video clips from everybody on Kiera's team to like just encourage her and
oh, that's awesome.
And she reached out to me. So I just love that community. Like, that's how Penny and I got connected. Is she asked me to make a video for Kiera, and she put that awesome gift together. So I just love everything about this community, and I feel like you guys are family. So I wanted to say thank you.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question. First of all, I have to say, I still have only lost 2 pounds, even in those pictures. And sometimes that gets to me. And I'm like, then I feel sorry for myself. And I tell my husband, I'm like, it's not working. He's like, you have to stop. And then I'm better. And then I read myself, you know, help books or whatever. And then I'm positive. But anyways, so side note, thank you for that, Scotty. I would love to know how to better my bod group. So I have a bod group going, and I have about maybe 10 ladies in there. A lot of them, maybe half of them I introduced to Beachbody, and then half of them had Beachbody on demand that they don't really have a coach. They're just doing it. I, you know, have my I post like 3 times a week plus my daily workouts and everything. And I am always encouraging them and like writing comments on when they do post, but the action is not really there. And I'm worried that they're feeling like, okay, this is what I signed up for, you know? So how do you get people talking and then I see some of them falling off like they're hardly posting their workouts. So I just would love to know how to like up that so that they feel like, oh, this is really worthwhile.
Yeah. What I do, Tiffany, can I, Scotty?
Yeah, go first, then I have something to you.
What I do, Tiffany, is like just today, I'm going to do a video about it because we just started Monday, and I am using the bod group tool. So in our back office, and you just go in and schedule. So I schedule for the whole week. So at least there's one consistent post. Have you guys cleaned out your fridge? Like, and I always tailor it. I don't ever do a blanket because they know you and you're like, this doesn't sound like Dwana. So I tailor it that way. But then I also do something that calls for action. So like today, the action was, what are 3 things that you love about yourself? Here's my 3 things. Yesterday it was, when is the last time you said something really positive about yourself? And that post, I had the most interaction. It's all negative crap. I never say positive, blah, blah, blah. And so I realized like, this is something, you know, those 2 pounds that you lost, you don't want them back, you know, so you always try to spin it that way and help them remember that it is a journey. And also, have you guys seen my posts? This is me personally. I say to my friends I've been following for years, I have lost and gained weight. I've lost and gained weight. And now I'm finally at the point where I have like 8 to 10 pounds of what I call my fun weight. This is my wine and my Dorito weight, where I know if I'm really hustling and I'm struggling, but it's not a lifestyle I want to live. I don't want to live a life where I can't have that and feel deprived. It's just not. And so for each of us, it's not an answer for you specifically, but it's just getting to that space where you feel I'm so content with the space that I built. I'm not on meds anymore. I can get out of bed and not be breathless. I can tie my shoes. I can sit down and not have my clothes dig into my thighs. You know, those things for me personally are such amazing wins because I've come so far. So think about in those terms. And also as your challengers are not seeing the results, but what is better? I also talk a lot about sleeping and energy and not being as mad at your kids. Like for me, it's like when I get a good workout, I yell less at my kids. Ian, did I get it? Amen? All right. That's what I would share is show up. You say whatever you're asking of them, make sure that you're sharing that as well. So they see, hey, she's not afraid to go first. And I know that's worked huge for me is being unafraid to show yourself. So I do not have a perfect body. I got jiggle and rolls. I'm jiggly and I show it and they're like, what? You can be happy and be jiggly? Hell yes. Society is telling us we can't, but you can.
That was perfect. I almost don't want to share anything, but
you got it.
I'll hit on both of those, where you're at with the 2 pound loss and then the BOD groups. first of all, like I look at Gabby, and when I do an Instagram story every day of a clip of my workout, and she does one of hers and I share hers onto mine. I almost never get a comment in my DMs from my workout clips because I'm fairly fit and I've been consistent for 10 years. And except for Dwana, she gave me some pointers on my form on the last one. So thank you, Dwana, for that. But Gabby, every time I get 5 to 10 comments of like, I don't know if they know they're watching my story or hers, but they're like, you go girl. And like all these comments on Gabby's, she's not at her ideal weight or what society would say is super fit. And what I've seen with her, like her weight doesn't move very much at all and hasn't in the past 5 years since we've had the last baby. But like I see her strength, I see her energy levels, the not yelling at the kids like Dwana's talking about. I see definition in her abs, but she's just a stronger, she's a Latina woman. And she looks fitter, even though the pounds don't really necessarily say it. So I would look at all of the, yes, consistency over time and adjusting your meal plan and the foods that you eat. You can lose weight if that's the goal with time, but you have to stay consistent and continue to adjust approach to find what works. Like there was a time even for me recently where I'm working out harder than I've ever worked out before, and my belly is like less defined than it's ever been. And I realized that I was under eating. And when I started eating more, the weight started coming off. It was like my body was like saving fat, thinking that I wasn't getting enough calories for how much energy I was putting out. So there's a ton of different things, adjusting your approach. The second thing about groups, I've been a coach for 9 years. I ran a group almost for a year before I ever became a coach. And the year before I became a coach was probably the most successful group that I've ever had. And so I always try to go back and emulate what I did then. And it's no agenda except for to inspire, uplift, and encourage people. So, and to have fun. I wasn't like pressured, like I got to make sure this happens and X, Y, Z inside of the group, and taking it back to just making sure that we're having fun and that it's coming from a place of like, I really want to encourage and inspire other people and help them see results. Anytime that it gets mechanical, any part of my business, BOD groups, invites, follow, anytime that becomes just mechanical in a process, I don't see great results. So you got to make it fun. I guess that could transition into your workouts as well. If we're focused too much on the scale and the numbers and not having fun with it and finding what we enjoy out of it, we're probably not going to see the best results. But the technical advice I could give you for my BOD group, something that I specifically do, is obviously I post every day my workout clips like you're doing. You're already doing more than I do with the 3 scheduled posts. I don't do that. But one thing that I do is my individual conversations. And I think this is important for anybody to hear that's like not started a group or started a group and don't know how to engage it much, is I'm kind of that person that I don't need accountability from anybody. Like that's for my business, my fit. I don't need someone to check in on me. I don't need Lindsay to check on me. And I never did, even in the beginning, my first month. Like I hit Success Club 10 in Emerald before she even got back from her trip she won with Beachbody to Cabo. And so I was at Success Club 10 in Emerald before we even did our Getting Started Right call. So I just like know what the mission is and I figure out how to do it. That's me. And I don't need accountability. I'm kind of a lone ranger. One of my struggles as a coach is that, because we're supposed to create family and tribe and working together. So that's something that's really hard for me. But so for my groups, like showing up to a group every day is not natural at all. And still, even nine years later, now it's become a routine where I can make sure that I do it every day. So one thing that I do is first I understand that not everybody needs a group. Some people just want one-on-one connection. Some people want the group connection. Some people don't need any connection. There's like those 3 groups of people. So when people buy a challenge pack from me, for example, they're in my group, but I also reach out to them. Mondays are my reach out and follow up with my customers and ask personally how they're doing with their nutrition and their workouts. So I do that with everyone, even if they're posting the group or not posting the group. But here's where the magic part, I think, that happens in helping create the community is Dwana kind of touched on this of like when you're doing she was talking about herself, when you're doing something for other people, connecting with other people, talking about their goals, you think less about the struggles and problems that you're going through. She didn't word it exactly like that, but when you're focused on helping other people, your things don't seem as burdensome or heavy, and it distracts you from thinking about it so much. So one thing that I do individually with my clients on that weekly checkup is if they're not posting in the group, I say, hey, I would love to see you post your workout or a meal you ate inside of the group at least 3 times this week. I give them like a goal. But I tell them why. I say I don't say we are trying to create a community that uplifts and inspires people, and encourages people. And I can't do it alone. I need people like you and other members of the team, like showing up and commenting on other people's posts and encouraging them. And I need your help. So I basically invite them to help me lead the group or help create that community, and that I can't be a community on my own, and that I need them. So that's one piece of advice I would give you to try out is ask them, like ask for their help. Don't say, hey, I need you to show up and post in the group without really knowing why they're doing it. So just inviting them to do that would be one of my tips. Okay.
How do you do that? Do you do it through the back office, or you just do it through
just Facebook for the most part? If they're on Facebook, on email. Some people I follow up with on email, some are on Instagram, some are on Facebook, Instagram, or email is where I'm doing most of my one-on-one check-ins.
The other quick tip, I share this with all my mod groupers too, is it sounds so remedial, guys, but it's like super helpful. Whatever you are reading, like this is the book I'm reading right now. I share this with everyone. And the way that she's written it is there's little like short little paragraphs, and I read literally 3 minutes and I already have my post for the day or for that moment. And just getting something out there and getting other people, oh man, I was going to turn on the news, but I see this and now I'm thinking about this. And then they associate you with fitness and wellness. And so the next post that they see, or if they do see one of Beachbody's infomercials, or we're on YouTube now, I just saw we're on the radio now, right? Beachbody spends thousands of dollars every year to advertise for us. They will connect it back with you. So that's been a huge tip for me is people like, how are you inspired to post? Where do they come? I just read. And I have it with me. And then throughout the day, I'll read something else. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool and how this relates to me and how it's helped me. Yeah, have them valuable light. Okay, tribal leadership. Yeah, and I love to read. I know that's hard for people, but then podcast or digital, like I'm a book person. So that's just something that's personally helped me. And I'm sharing that with my challengers. Audible. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. Fine. Because when your challengers are doing it, and this was a huge kind of aha moment to me, one of the national wake up calls is your challengers will become your future coaches. So if we're already teaching them not just to get healthy, but also to coach themselves, to read, hi buddy, to read and to share and to do all the things that we do as coaches, it's kind of like a no-brainer. You know, we can encourage them that their next shipment of psychology and all that kind of stuff can be at a discount. So just something else I found helpful for my group.
Yes, I love that. Okay, we'll end this out. I'm going to end with just, Dwana hit on this, but I'm going to reiterate it. Guys, stick with it. Like, be patient with the process, both with your weight loss and your health and fitness and your ability to build a business. I always think about different times in my life. Like, I always had a dream of being a rock star and having an album and touring. And it took me 20 years of playing music in bands to create an album. 20 years. But guys, how awesome it felt to be in the studio and then to like share that album with people and have people be like, oh, this is awesome. But guys, that took 20 years. And I was having this conversation with Tamara Cox. She's an incredible leader on our team. She's almost a diamond coach. And she was frustrated with the fact, and many people feel this, that there's other people that are hitting higher Success Club numbers, that have their coaches hitting Success Club and growing their businesses, and why she isn't doing more when she has this energy and this desire and drive to do more. And like one of the things I told her is, and I think it's important key in the way that I think and build my business, is because a lot of times I think we think about what can I accomplish until next summit or in the next year. And I was like, Tamara, we're like in our mid 30s, late 30s for me. And I'm like, we got like 30 more years to work on ourselves and to make a difference in other people's lives. Like, yes, I know you want it to happen soon, but let's not rush it. And the thing that I told her is, like, show up the very best you can, growing yourself, growing other people, helping people. And if you can stay true to that, I was sharing her with the parable of like the talents. I was like, the more that you're faithful in showing up and doing those things, like the more you're going to be given. And it may take, I was like, we're going to be doing this for 30 years. So there's no need getting frustrated that we're not where we want to be in the next year, because we have all of this time to work and to grow and to make an impact. And if we're frustrated or feeling down on ourselves or thinking negative thoughts about where we're at versus where we would like to be, we're not going to be able to reach the people. And the way I was just relating to it, I was like, if we're complaining, I don't believe God or the universe, whatever you're going to believe in, is going to give you more. Like, we have to be grateful for where we're at and how we're making an impact. And as we show up sharing that, then we'll be given more and be able to help other people at a higher level. So be patient with the prospect. Yes, set goals, because they challenge you to work hard and to continue to show up. But we're going to be doing this for life. It's not like when I hit 45, I'm going to hit the final goal of Beachbody that I have and then move on and do something else. Like, this is a lifelong journey. So let's have, like Dwana emphasized a lot, let's have joy in doing it. And let's work hard and grow ourselves, because that's really what's going to attract people. If we're down and complaining, we're not going to be given more. People aren't going to reach out. That energy will go out into the universe. So show up with joy, make sure that you have fun doing what you're doing, and the people will begin to come to you. Okay. Dwana, any last words?
No, thank you guys. This was awesome. And I'll see you guys at Summit.
Okay. We'll see you guys.
All right. Bye.